Yeah, so hello guys, and welcome to another tutorial. And I hope that you had a good day wherever you are. I just want to take this opportunity to welcome you to this amazing tutorial. The word is built on point and surface. What if you could design the road we walk, the cities we live in, and the future we build right from the screen? Welcome to your global gateway to Civil 3D. Let's dive in. So whatever we are going to do today is very simple. First of all, we are going to check some several things. One, it will be the interface of the Civil 3D. The second thing that we will do is to import our points. And lastly, the third thing that we will do in this tutorial will be creating points. Sorry for the background noise, but hope things will be well. Let's start with the interface and understanding the interface is like running to drive. Once you know where everything is, the road becomes yours. So it is so important for you to understand the interface. So we're going to start by looking at the interface, and it is good to know that most of the time you'll be spending your time in the home tab. That being said, let's look at the home tab. So get here the tools. When you close it, these tools will go away, but if you still need them, you just click it again and it will reappear there. So this one is called the tool palette, and if I close it, I like that, you will be able to, at the moment we don't need it, so we are going to close it. This is Project Explorer, and let me click. So if I close the tools, let's hope that it is not hanging. So this is the Project Explorer. This is where you get several things. But looking at it when we be creating a real project. This is grading optimization with grading object. Here it's where you get to import your points. That is the survey data, where you acquire those data from the surveyor, and then this data you can be able to use it to design your road, or either your design may be a bridge or any other thing, like a dam. So you can be able to import your points, and then you can use them for the reason that you want to use them for. Here is the surface. This is where you create your surface. In other software, they sometimes call it terrain, like it's how the surface is, like the contours. So here is where you get to create that surface. The next thing here is the traverse. We'll be looking at it more keenly and more details when we'll be doing. So the next thing is the alignment tool. Alignment tool is also very important, because this is where you get to create your center lines, and from that center line you get to create your corridors. All these things you get to understand them. The profile, we have the vertical profiles, and when you create the profile, you get to understand the, like, the stiffness of your area or any other thing. So you get to understand the gradient of that area, and with that in mind, you can be able to know the volume that will be cut and filled in other. So you can get to create to calculate the volume of the area that will be cut and also the area that are going to be filled. So this is how you get to also to create intersection of a road. So for example, if the road are meeting at a certain point, you can either decide to create an intersection, maybe this kind, but remember that if it is of this kind, you're going to have collision. These are, you can decide to create a roundabout, you can decide to add an approach of your own kind. So yeah, so when you interact with this software more and more, you can be able to customize on your intersection. So the next thing here you get is your pipe networks. We're going to look at it more keenly. You get to profile view, sample line, and then section views. So here you get the interface, almost common to the normal AutoCAD. This is the same as normal AutoCAD here. You get to get lines, polylines, and shapes. The next thing that you get here is mirroring and other tools, and then here you get your layers. Yeah, so the next tab here is insert, and here you get to import your points, and also you get to open infrawork model in in this software. So you also get to set location, maybe from a map or from a file. For example, if you have the data of the load, for example, that you already know that that this is the road that I want it to be designed. So you have the existing map. So you can be able to combine the road that you have designed in the actual map so that you can be able to see it how it will appear on the real sense. So remember, Civil 3D is quite if you're using the cracked version, then you might be in a problem if you have not paid. But if you have paid, you can be able to access the map from the crowd. Yeah, so for those that are paying, they can be able to access that. But if you don't have that premium version, then you can do that. Maybe you create that from a file, but also there is you can also uh, connect your Civil 3D with Google Earth, and then you can be able to view that road on the actual field from the data that you will have corrected. So it will be automatic. So you need to connect it with that, and then you can be able to get it if you have also craft version. So you can be able, you're not limited. So the next thing is annotate, and you get these tools. They are so simple as they are: standard things, dimensions, readers tables, markups, and report text. So in the modify tools, you get to edit geometry, and this is also very important. You get also to edit elevation editor, and also get other modifiers here. So in the design, here you get to access your intersection assembly, pipe networks, and also the surface and other point. So in this analyze, you can check your visibility, you can drive through your road, and also quick profile, you can be able to check at that, and volume dashboard, grading volume tool, and also can get to calculate the volume of the cuts and fill that we have gotten from the proposed design. So if the proposed design is has a lot of cuts and maybe perhaps less fills, then that means additional cost to import your materials into another field. So that would be additional cost. So you need to ensure that when maybe perhaps you're designing, you balance the number of cuts and fill, so that you don't have a lot of transportation cost. Because for example, if a road is being designed in for example an urban area, and then you have a lot of cuts, you have a lot of maybe fill, but the material that you are cutting out is because it cannot be used. Even if you stabilize the material, it cannot be used. So then what do you need to do? You have a lot of work to transport material, to borrow materials from other areas, and also to transport your material from the existing area to another dump site. So that then mean a lot of transport cost, and so you can avoid that at a design level, ensuring that if the material is checked at site and it has been say that it has met the standards, then you can ensure that you don't have a lot of cuts and rest of fill. So you balance the two so that the material that is being cut here is filled there next, and that way, so that you don't have a lot of incurred cost. So in the view, you get to view your your design in different ways. You can change the layout. You can also tile your workspace horizontally like that, cascade tiles and others. So I'm going to I'm going to go back to view again, and then back to I'm going to cross this one. I don't need it like that. So I need it mine to be like this. So it's going to be in Del tab. So on the survey, you get these points, but you'll not be using a lot of them. In the rail, you can create creation tools. You can design perhaps a rail if you're using Civil 3D. So you can be able to design a lot of things here. Um, the transparent the stations from France and station elevation and stations and others, you get to access them here. Infrawork, so you can be able to exchange settings with that software. The next thing is collaborate and share drawings. So you can work on the same drawings as several engineers, and you can collaborate on the same end. Maybe perhaps if this one updates, and then you get also yours updated, so you can be able to share like that, shared views, and also DWG compare, publish surface, and also publish to ArcGIS. So if you are publishing it in ArcGIS, then you also to view it on the read ground. For example, if it is a very long load, let's say it's load like the road that runs maybe from, let's say, Cairo to South Africa. Then if you view it on ArcGIS, then you'll be able to read from the start to the end how it will cover, and then perhaps you can have sections, and then because that is a very long project, and it's a very huge project actually, so you can get to have get help there, express tools and feature dubs. And with that, you can see here they have updated several things, but we don't need any. So go back to home tab. So as I said, that this is the place that you'll be spending most of your time in. And remember what we said about the interface. It's like learning how to drive. Once you know why everything is, the load will become yours. So the next thing that you need to do is to know how to import your point. Now let's import survey data, the backbone of any terrain design. So whatever we need to do is walk through data, point from files, selecting CSV file or text, check format, choosing point groups. So that it is, and we're going to import our points. So the first thing that we need is to come to points, and then you click point creation tool, and the point creation tool will pop up here on your screen, and you need to click here on import points, and then you're going to click the plus button. You're going to select the point where you have saved them. Perhaps you can try a different kind of data that is not maybe perhaps overload. um let's go back again. Let's say highway. I don't know whether we have data here, but okay. So you're going to click on the BZNED, and then I'm going to click OK. So after that, you will not be able to see your data after importing them. So you need to click on the zoom tool. So click zoom, yeah, then you click on your points. So be able to view your points on your workspace like this. So here I have a lot of data. As you can see, this is your data of that section. They are in X. If you zoom more closely, you see the point is in X form. So they have used the basic thing. So the next thing that we are going to do here is to know how to create the surface. So after importing your points, which I hope that you have already figured it out, let me go back again for you. So you need to be in your home tab, and then you click points, point creation tool, and then you click the last button in the point creation tool, that is import points. And then after that, you'll be able to click the plus button, select your files where you have saved them, that is the survey data, be it as a CSV file or a text file. You can be able to select it and get to import your points. So the next thing that you need to do is to specify the file formatting filter, and then you'll be able to select, maybe for yours you can choose PENZD, and then you choose comma delimited. So that means your point will be separated by that comma. So if there is a comma in that text, then it will be changed to a column. So that is how we get to change the points. The next thing, you need to click OK, and then you click the zoom tool, and then you'll be able to view your data as you can view mine. Yeah, so up to there. Hope no question, and then I think we can just move on. So after that simple thing that we have done there, boom, Your site has now a real world data. These dots are not just dots, they are not just points, they are possibilities. Yeah, so as we be going through this, at the end of this I'll be giving you a little story, and that story should motivate you. So that story should just motivate you on your journey, and I'll be sharing it with you, yeah, so that you can be able to figure it out. Also, maybe perhaps you may find yourself in the same situation. So the next thing that I will do here is now create the surface, and today's tutorial will not be so wrong. That is, for the other ones we have been creating them for almost hours and hours. For today we might not create maybe full hour, but I intend it to be so short. So we are going to first create, we have imported our points, and the next thing that we did there is to, we want now to create the surface. And after creating the surface, we'll be ending at that, because I don't want you to um, get confused by so many things, creating alignment and corridors and assemblies. So we're going to be doing this process by process. So we might be streaming every single day, but the goal and the purpose of doing that is so that when you follow a video, you get to a certain point, and that point you will have understood everything from the previous one. So and then we pick up from the first thing to the next thing, and then we will be doing that as a series. So the next thing that I need to do now is to create my surface. So what I will do is to go so the thing that I need to do now is to create a surface. So with our points in place, we can now create a surface. So the other softwares, as I had said, they use the word terrain other than surface, but in Civil 3D we use surface. So if you're using Open Road Designer, you will be able to see it as terrain, but in Civil 3D you get to access it as a surface. So the next thing is for you to go to surface, you create surface, and then you can name it whatever you want. So today being on a Thursday, I'm going to call it Thursday surface tutorial, so that I'll be able to figure it out. So you can save it wherever you want it. I'll click OK, and after creating the surface, I'll come to Prospector, and I'll come to surface, and I get to see my Thursday surface tutorial here on the left side tool space, and then I'll expand everything like that, and then I come to the point groups. So after getting to that point, the next thing that I will do is let me check, we're still okay. So the next thing that I will do is to click on my point, right click, and then add my points. So I will click all points that I have here, and then I will apply. So when I apply, ensure you have clicked them, and then I will apply. So let's go back, click them, apply, click OK, and then you'll be able to click OK there, and you will have such a surface. So we have created a surface on our on our points. So that's how you get to create a surface. And after creating now the surface, the next thing that you can do is to create alignments. After creating the alignment, we'll be able to create our assemblies. After that, we'll be able to create our corridors from those assemblies, and also connecting that from the alignment. That is the center alignment of the road. So you can be able to create those corridors. After that, you can view your road in 3D, and then you can drive through, so that you can see the driver experience when he will be driving through that road. So when the driver is driving through that road, how are the visibility, how like the sight distance, how long is it, how is the sight blockage and other things like that. So when you're driving through, you'll be able to see how bumpy is your road, how hilly is your road, and those also from the profile. After creating the profile, you'll be able to see whether you need to create a proposed profile, so that you can be able, you can ensure that some points are, that all points actually, not some, that they need to be at a level, like not they need to be not so steep, and they don't need to be so hilly. So you, for you to ensure that your points are like that, you have to generate a profile, and then you view it. So you can create those profile, then you can be able to move to the next one. So let me check if there is any query that we are having, but I can see none of queries. And with that, I would want to come to the end of it. So remember, today we have not created alignment from this data. We have not created the assemblies, we have not created the profiles, and we have not created the corridors. But with that, we have successfully imported our points. We have successfully also created our surface, and we have learned how to import our points, and hope that you have now have a good grasp of it. Um, and this is my story. That once I met a young student in a rural village in Kenya. He had never seen a paved road in his town, only dusty paths and foot trails. But he had one thing: an old laptop and a cracked copy of AutoCAD. He taught himself to map his village. He drew imagery roads, waterlines and parks. Years later, he became a civil engineer, and today is part of global team building smart cities. He told me, when I learned to draw points and surface, I was just designing land. I was I was not just designing land. I was redesigning destiny. Your screen is more powerful than a bulldozer, because if because it lets you shape the future before it even begins. So if this inspires you, don't stop here. Write, comment what country you are watching from, and subscribe to more powerful Civil 3D tutorial, and let's build the world.